right. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back, my friends. How we doing? We got the Hezbollah shirt on. The Hezbollah trader. 101. Good morning. Yeah, Chef, please go back to what you said about Tesla yesterday. You called it shorts in the morning covering, saying we had enough. See the squeeze. Yeah, Chef. I hope I hold on. I hope I saved some people from shorting Tesla yesterday. I hope so. Yeah, shout out Marvin. Love this shirt. I don't know. Maybe we'll pop them on the merch store. Maybe we'll pop them on the merch store. But we do have some shirts for sale if you guys are interested. It's down in the description. Trust the levels. Trust the levels. There's me. I'm a model. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. How we doing? Hope you guys are having a good morning. Hope you had a good day yesterday. Some nice action yesterday, even though, yeah, I could get sued from Hezbollah for this one. Maybe. I wouldn't win that. I think Hezbollah probably has more money than me. You're probably right about that. All right. Oh, I love it, Marvin. I love it. TTL. GTTTL. Jim Tan, trust the levels. $40.70 Super gets released today, really? Huh. The 4070 Ti that I got it's badass, man. That thing is a significant difference. So happy. I mean, I'll always support Nvidia, man. Nvidia has made me a lot of money. Nvidia has been just an insane stock. What an insane stock. All right. Wait a few more minutes for some people to jump in. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the stream. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting. As always, need a room for a couple days. Yeah. Really nice hotels in Naples, man. Come on down to Naples. Was I surprised on AMD? I mean, yeah. I mean, AMD was it was insane. I mean, what a move. And yeah, that's what we've seen. We've seen a little bit of semiconductor just insane semiconductor strength. And at this point, right, it almost feels like it's an AMD catch-up trade. It could very well just be an AMD catch-up, right? Nvidia's over all-time highs. It has been. AMD is still below its all-time highs, right? So there could be a little AMD catch-up trade here, right? Over the next few trading days, right? I need to delete some of these levels because these are no longer valid, right? Obviously. But AMD did create a nice entry yesterday over that 151. We were talking about that 151, and it absolutely created a long entry over that 151 yesterday on the 2-minute chart. There was a little break and retest. You had to be real quick on it. And I missed it. Right? There was a little this little area right here, right? See those wicks? sort of, break over 151, pull back, couple wicks, right, on the bottom side right there. And that would have been a beautiful entry, right? And then bam. So awesome. I mean, pretty awesome, right? Pretty awesome. Can't complain about that one. We'll talk more about it. We'll get into it. All right, guys. So welcome back. Thanks for being here. Press that like button if you could. Today, retail sales. Retail sales, 8:30. We're going to see it live. So we'll see what the reaction is here on retail sales at 8:30. And that's really the big event of today. Besides that, we'll go over the technicals like we always do. And, let's jump right into it. So here's the Forex Factory economic calendar. If you guys could, early likes. Got 1,000 people here. If you could, press that like button for me. I'd appreciate that. So today, retail sales 8:30. That's probably your biggest event of the day. 9 o'clock, you got some FOMC members speaking, Barr and Bauman. Industrial production, capacity utilization rate, business inventories, housing market index, beige book, and then some more Fed presidents. So, yeah, I mean, it could be sort of interesting as we get some Fed presidents speaking, some FOMC members speaking, before open here. But I think this is really going to be the driver here today, your retail sales. I don't have predictions on economic events. I have no idea. Zero. I do not care, right? I don't even try to predict that. Tomorrow, unemployment as usual. Friday, consumer sentiment. But today, what we care about is what is the reaction here at 8:30 on retail sales. And then from that point, we watch the levels, right? We trade off the levels. We adapt to what the market is giving us. That's what we do. So that's that. Let's take a quick second. Let's just take one quick second, right? If you come to the live stream, let's just take one quick second and bask in the glory of IWM. Bam. Bam. Right? That's all I could say. What is his name? Emerald? It's Emerald, right? Bam. Is that who? What's his name? No, not Emerald. What's his name? Rest in peace to him. Yeah, Emerald. Emerald Lagasse. Bam. Yeah. IWM. Perfect, right? We had our price target at 188. We talked about this low volume gap, right? And we turned the previous lows into rejections. And you can see we were talking about that little bear flag. And bam. Beautiful. Textbook technicals, textbook how it worked out. I caught a decent amount of money on IWM on this entire drive. I didn't catch the full drive here, which sort of sucks, but like I always say, right, I'm just as happy seeing this work out, right? This gives me confidence that what I'm looking at in the market is valid, right? I was all over this move. We were all over this move here in the live stream. We were talking about this short for weeks, right? All last week, all 2 weeks ago, we were saying watch IWM for that ultimate move to 188, and that is exactly what you got. So take a second and look at that. That's really nice, really clean. Happy we finally got that move, and yeah, really good. Boeing, insane yesterday, just total meltdown. We finally got that meltdown move on Boeing, but let's not jump ahead. Let's just jump right into the futures here today, guys. Let's jump into the NASDAQ. So, NASDAQ futures, you're still just ranging, guys. Really nothing here, right? You're still just in this range. There's really nothing here. Yesterday, you basically just pushed into supply, rejected, and held that little 20 SMA demand, right? That was really yesterday. You held the 20 SMA demand, popped up, rejected supply, came back down, held the 20 SMA, and that was your day, right? That was pretty much your entire day. It was just right there, right? Off demand into supply, off supply back into demand, off demand back into supply, and we move lower, right? Same thing all day. Now, today, nothing different. Nothing has changed, right? Nothing has changed today. There is no difference in the chart today versus yesterday, right? There's been no significant change in what we have seen here on the NASDAQ. So Maybe something on CPI, or I'm sorry, not CPI, on retail sales, right? Maybe something on retail sales today could break us out of this range. But for now, we are in a range, right? Simple as that. We have our supply highs and we have our demand lows, right? And we are just right in the middle. So I've deleted every level in the middle of this range because I am only interested in trading longs in this general area, right, off 16.8, 16.750, and I am only interested in trading shorts near that 17,000, right? And that's really going to be the best opportunities if you monitor the channel, right? So today, if we move to the downside, right, if we start moving to the downside today, you better be careful entering shorts around that 16.8, and I'd be careful entering shorts around that CPI low, right? Those are two levels that could absolutely hold. So 16.750, 16.8 are those two demand levels below that I would be careful shorting into, right? If you break below CPI lows, that's where I think the downside pressure can come in. A break under this low right here. This low, I believe, is very important. That's Thursday lows of last week. That is the CPI lows. That's 16.750. I think if you have a break under this CPI low, the pressure starts to come in to the downside, right? But as long as you're above it, which you are right now, the market can absolutely maintain, right? Any pullbacks into this area could be long opportunities for a move back into the channel highs. Now, for now, right, you can still see the channel highs are rejecting. So if you do push into the channel highs, you got to be careful of that supply rejection. That is exactly what you saw yesterday, right? You do not start entering longs in supply. That is a perfect supply rejection yesterday. You had a quick reaction to the downside, grinded back up, rejected again, and since that point, it just moved lower, right? So supply highs, demand lows, and you just trade it, right? You trade it and you respect the levels, TTL, all right? Nothing's changed. That's about it. Pretty easy analysis today, right? Pretty easy analysis. 16.750, CPI lows, 16.8, demand lows, 20 SMA could cause a little reaction, so make sure to have that on your charts. And then, of course, your 17,000 supply highs. QQQ is about as clean as it's going to ever get in terms of a channel. You can see 411, 411, 411, very clear triple top on the Qs. You do not start entering longs as we push into 411. Demand lows, 405, 405, 405, 405. And if you come down to 405 today, you're careful of the demand, all right? If you break outside of 405, you're moving lower to 402. If you break over 411, I believe, let me just double check before I say anything. Yes, that's all-time highs. So if you break over 411, right? If you break over that 411, you're likely pushing into that 413. That 413 is the 4 hour right here, the highs right here, right? 413. So if you do get over that 411 today or at any point in the future and you hold it, you're going to 413, over 413, you're moving, right? So 411, 413, 405, 402. Pretty clear, right? Pretty clear. The reason you get messed up in this area, right? The only reason that you get messed up trading in this area is that you either are not paying attention to demand lows, you're not paying attention to supply highs, or you're just simply trading in the middle of nowhere, right? You're trading in twilight zone. Trading in here is trading in the twilight zone, right? What were the best trades yesterday? The best trade yesterday was a supply rejection at the exact high of Friday, right? That was the best trade of the day. Best trade of the day, Friday highs, exact level rejection, right? Easy. I wouldn't say easy, right? It's not easy, but you can see it, right? You can see it. It's very clear. Same highs, right? Short that high, trade that level. Besides that, right, you're trading in the twilight zone. So potential longs here, shorts here. Only trade when action gets to these levels. Only trade when action gets to these levels. So that's that. 411, 405. Very easy. ES. So the ES is a little bit different, a little bit weaker, I think, today, right? A little bit weaker. Now, here's why I say that. First of all, do not forget about the 4770 demand today. 4770, 4770, 4770, 4770, 4770, and today 4770. So we are not entering shorts today. If the ES is holding 4770, right, that could very well just be a channel low demand that holds, that pushes us back into supply highs. Okay, 4770 is your demand level to watch today. You have multiple touches at that 4770. So this level could maintain again today, right here, right? And it could absolutely push us higher. So you're watching 4770. Obviously, supply highs are at that same 48.20 area that rejected yesterday. Now, the one thing, and the one thing only, that I think is slightly different here on the ES and potentially something to watch in the short term is this right here, right? You can see it right now. It is a rejection of the previous day lows in the pre-market. This is interesting. This could potentially be leading to some weakness. This could be a little bit of a sign that there is more to come to the downside. So I will be watching this, right? As of right now, you're seeing a little bit of a bear flag back into the previous day lows, right? Previous day lows, rejection. So if this retail sales, is weak and sort of sends us lower under 4770, that is a pretty clear rejection of previous day lows, right? And if we get under this 4770 and start to reject it, you're going to move lower, right? So that's the key here. If you stay under previous day lows, okay, which you are right now, if you stay under these previous day lows at 4785 and you reject it, which you very clearly are at the moment, right, that could be the sign that this is potentially maybe going to break these lows today, right? 4770. All right, so watch that 4770. Careful of that, right? Don't short into it, because what you could do, right, what could happen here today, which is very possible, this is what could happen today, all right? You start shorting here before we break demand, right? And then bam, very possible. So there is no reason to be entering shorts into this 4770 level. What I would do is I would wait for this to break and hold below. And if it does, then look for that short. Very similar to this action here, right? If I could just copy and paste this action right here in this area, that's exactly what I would look for, right? You get your flush, move this over. You get your flush, you get your sort of consolidation back into that level. You get that bear flag reaction, right? And then you start to short it as you move into that, as you start to drop and reject that level. Perfect. That's exactly what you're looking for. But we have to see if that sets up. Right now, it's setting up at the previous day lows. We have to see if it sets up at the 4770 level. All right. SPY, pretty much the same exact thing. We'll go to the 1 hour chart. You can see right here. For me, 472 is your demand today. Right there, 472, 472, 472. That's your demand today, right? That's your demand to watch. That's the 4770 level. This right here is 4770 on the ES, 472. So you have to get under that 472 on the SPY today. Now, what are you seeing in the pre-market today as we speak? You are seeing a slight, right, a pretty clear, SPY's not as clear here, but you can see around this general area, you are getting a rejection of those previous day lows, right? You are getting a rejection of those previous day lows right there. Previous day low, 20 SMA, and you're starting to see a little bit of rejection there. So I would be just aware of that. I don't think I would trade this, right? So let me go back to the ES. I am not interested in trading this short right here because I'm not interested in shorting into 47.70 demand. All right, so I'm not interested in this short. But I will take this into account today before I think about even considering longs, right? I'm not interested. Why am I not interested in longing 47.70 today? Right? I'm not going to long 47.70 today if we are clearly showing a rejection at the previous day lows on the ES. So for me to be long today, right, I would want to see us reclaim that previous day low, maybe even reclaim the 20. And at that point, maybe I'll try that. But if we're under the previous day lows, I do not think there is a reason to look long on the ES. Right? That is a very clear rejection at the previous day low. So this will be a key level, in my opinion, today. This 47.85 will be very key today. Do we stay below it? And do we stay weak today? Or are we able to reclaim it? Right? That's the big watch. And maybe we'll see that in about 9 minutes on retail sales. All right. IWM. If you weren't here when I said this in the morning, love it, man. This is exactly what we were looking for, guys. This was exactly what we talked about on this live stream for weeks. We talked about this little bear flag. We talked about the previous lows turning into rejections all last week. Right? This is a perfect previous low into highs, right? That is a perfect break and retest rejection. And that is a perfect downside move, finally getting that slip here on the IWM. Now, that trade in my eyes, right, that short side is now over. Right? I am no longer interested in IWM shorts unless, of course, you break under the 188 and you start to reject that level. Because the reason I say that is because you are now back to those previous highs, right, which could be short-term demand. Right? It could definitely turn into some short-term demand here around 188. Below 188, you also have that 50 SMA, right? That 50 SMA is sort of stacked up right under around 186. So what I would say today is I'd be very careful, right? This short is over in my eyes. I'd be very careful entering shorts near this 188 area. This could be where the IWM holds. Would I long IWM? No. I just don't see a reason to try to long it the first day it hits this demand, right? This could absolutely break under today. It's very possible. So if today it holds and starts to maybe make a higher low, higher high, then maybe I'd look for it. I personally wouldn't long the IWM unless it's back over 197, right? Anything, if you got to think big picture here. The IWM just made lower highs, right? So anything could still, this is possibly just in a short term, sort of downtrending move. So I'm not going to long into that, right? I would have, this is a long on the upside move, right? When you're stair-stepping up, you look for pullbacks, longs. I don't look for pullback and longs if you have done something along these lines, right? This is a break of structure. This is a break of the structure here. And I think this is only short side opportunities now in my eyes. I would only look for pops and shorts. Unless, of course, the IWM can get back above that 197. This would probably be the only spot that I would long the IWM, is right there. Because that's a reclaim of that previous high. That's a higher low, right? And then you can start to trade with that trend. But for now, I think this is downtrending, right? This is a downtrend. And any pop could just be a rejection play in my eyes. Watch 188, though. Watch 188. That could definitely hold today. All right. Tesla. So yesterday on Tesla, we had a game plan, right? We had an analysis. And if you listen to it, congratulations, right? And I'm going to show you guys something real quick that we talked about in the Discord that instantly, from the moment the market opened, made me not want to look for shorts on Tesla. There was one thing, and I automatically knew that I was not shorting Tesla yesterday from the first candle of the day. And I will show you that right now. So, first of all, we talked about this daily chart low, right? We talked about that daily chart low on Tesla at 212, right? We talked about that low. And we said, watch out for that daily low. That is where Tesla bounced off of, and it could absolutely do the same thing, right? So 212 was our level we were watching yesterday. You can see in the morning yesterday, look at what 212 did, right? That was a perfect reaction to the upside. Perfect hold of that 212 and perfect demand hold of that 212. Absolutely textbook. Now, here is why I did not have any interest in shorting Tesla yesterday morning, right? Let's look at the difference between when I shorted Tesla and when I was not interested in shorting Tesla. So, on Friday of last week, what did Tesla do? It popped off this level right at the open into supply and started to weaken, right? A pop, a squeeze into supply, rejection. Yesterday, Tesla trapped and got a lot of horny bears in a lot of trouble because the first candles of the day were straight downside into a demand, right? You moved vertically lower right into that 212, right? And what do people start doing when you get a downside off the morning open, right? People start taking shorts, and if they're not educated of where levels are, right, they get squeezed out, right? So you're taking shorts here into demand, you get squeezed out, right? That is exactly what happened yesterday. If you're part of the chat, you know I was saying this. We saw Tesla open and go straight down. That was instantly a no short for me because I know that Tesla loves to do the little washout long, right? The washout long and the shorts that get in and get totally squeezed out, right? Not a good play. Now, if Tesla yesterday morning would have done something like this, right? Instead of going straight down, if we would have did something like this right off the open, then, right, I would have been interested. But what happened was you had the straight down movement, a lot of shorts piling in way too late, right? Right into that demand that we talked about. And that is the squeeze. And that is why Tesla moved higher yesterday. So, not interested in that. But today, you can see something that's going on that's slightly interesting now. All right, so look at what Tesla's doing here. What do I want to see Tesla do today for me to be interested in the short side? For me personally, I want to see an instant move higher off the open, right? If I can get an instant move higher off the open, either into this 217.50 or into this 220, right? Then I would be interested in taking the shorts around that 217.50, which is these lows here, or back towards this 220 level, which is these previous lows here. It could be like, this is sort of where it might get difficult, right? Around 219, 219.50. It could be around 218.50, right? It doesn't have to be exactly 220. But what you can see right now, which is very weak in the pre-market, you guys see this right here? This is that Friday low. Look at what Tesla's doing at the Friday low, right? But here's the problem for me on Tesla. Tesla could very well want to fill this gap, right? Tesla could very well want to fill that gap. I think it will want to, because what has Tesla done in the past few days after there's been a gap down, right? Look at this. Gap down, fill the gap, right? Gap down, fill the gap, right? Gap down. I think you're going to want to fill this gap, right? So I'm not going to want to short Tesla until it fills the gap down, right? I'm not going to want to short Tesla today until it fills the gap, and I think that's perfect around that 220 level. So this is really my target on Tesla, to take some potential puts today, right here at that 220. That would be the level. We'll see if we get it, right? I would love to see a morning spike into 220 and then start to see this thing fail, right, at that 220 level. So that's my game plan. We'll see if it works. Nvidia. Beast. Just a beast, man. It's just insane. What a move. What an awesome hold. And what a squeeze above that 552 yesterday. squeeze above these previous highs right here, right? 552. And then this morning, you can see that 560, creating some type of a low, right? So what are we watching today on Nvidia? Here's what we're watching. We're watching two potential long entries today. We are watching here, and we are watching here. But before we do that, let's go into retail sales. Let's see what we're getting. And man, oh man, was that a nice rejection of the previous day lows on the S&P 500. So congratulations if you took that short on futures. Yowza. Lows, 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 lows. Break, retest, bam, right? It's happened. It doesn't get old, man. It doesn't get old. You see this every day. Every day. If you could just master the retests, the retest of previous lows, the retest of pre-market lows, the retest of previous highs, right? If you could just master and really be able to visualize these retests, they are going to set up the best entries for you. I truly believe that. There it is, right in front of your face again, right? Break of the lows, right? Break of the lows. You don't need to chase the break. What do you wait for? You wait for the retest. It almost always comes in. It depends if you're patient enough. If you are, you're likely to get a good entry at some point, right? Good entry short, retest rejection. That is beautiful stuff. So what did the retail sales just do? This is potentially a major bear trap here, right? This is potentially a major bear trap. Why is that? Because you moved lower on data, right? And you are holding demand still. So you better be careful today, right? You better be careful here at this 47.70. You can see right now the ES is putting up a fight still at that 47.70, right? So you do not want to be too aggressive short into this 47.70. If you get under it and hold below it, right, then you can get your entry. But for now, do not front run that. Be careful of 47.70 holding. Retail sales, 0.4 versus 0.2. Yeah, I guess it's good. I mean, it's good for retail. It might be bad for inflation numbers, but for retail, I guess, any retail going up off that? Shops going down. What else is some retail that would move with the retail sales? Nothing really. I mean, Target. You typically don't see like reactions to retail sales on retail stocks too much. So yeah, 47.70 on the ES. 47.70 on the ES. SPY 472. NASDAQ 16.8. QQQ 405. All right, let's continue. So we went over Nvidia, or let's just jump right back into Nvidia. Right here, right here. 560, 552. So I'm looking for this or this. One of the two. And that's it. That's it, right? That's all I'm looking for. Woo-woo. Nothing. All right. Let's continue. AMD. So, AMD, 151, right? We talked about that 151. We talked about that double top high right there. And AMD surely squeezed over that yesterday. And there was actually, on the 2-minute time frame, there was a moment that an interesting hold came in and some telling candles, right? If you were really zoned in on AMD yesterday morning, there was definitely an area that was showing you buying, right? Right here, right? Look at this. See those 4 candles right there? Those 4 candles are very important. They tell a story, right? These 4 candles tell a story, right? Why? What are those 4 candles telling you? Those 4 candles are pullbacks with wicks, right? Pullback wick, pullback wick, pullback wick, right? Look at all these wicks at the bottom of that level. And basically, that is just telling you, hey, we're pulling back to my 151 level. Actually, you know what? 5 wicks. I didn't even see this wick. Look at that one. All right. This wick came back to 151 and instantly got bid up. 151, 151, 151, 151, 151, 151, right? 5 wicks, right? Right at that level. And that really was your buying opportunity of the day right there. right? That was really it. That was the best entry of the day with those wicks, with that as confirmation. Very nice stuff. I missed it. I was watching other stocks. I was watching the NASDAQ, sort of stay sort of weak in the morning. I wasn't there. I wasn't present. I didn't see it, right? If I did, I probably would have been a little bit more aggressive, but tough, right? The thing for me is, when the NASDAQ is sort of doing this in the morning, right? So this is the NASDAQ yesterday morning, right? And this is AMD yesterday morning. So it's tough, right? It's, for me, the way I trade, and I accept it. I don't get upset about it. It's just the way I trade and how I get comfortable, right? I find when I enter a trade that is aligning with the NASDAQ ES, I have a lot of patience. I get I stay very patient. I stay very relaxed. I know I'm on the right side of the market. When I enter a trade that is inverse to what I'm seeing on the NASDAQ, I can tell this is something you need to pay attention to as a trader. What makes you comfortable in a trade, right? What gives you that zen? And for me, I have zen in my trades when it is aligning with the futures. So if I would have entered AMD yesterday, right, in this area, for me personally, and I saw the NASDAQ sort of slipping to start the morning, right, started going straight down, it's just not something I get comfortable with, right? So I'm going to miss those moves, right? When you have that stock-specific move like you saw in AMD yesterday, or that stock-specific move that you saw in Nvidia pretty much straight out of the gates, right? Nvidia was straight out of the gates, straight up, right? Right here. Straight up out of the gates, right? When you get that, I just don't catch it. And I'm okay with that, right? I'm fine with that. That's how I trade. I know how I trade. I'm in tune with my emotions and how I trade. That is very important, right? You need to find what's comfortable for you. So, yeah, I didn't catch AMD, but you know what, guys? Let's take a second. Let's take a second and press the like button, huh? We'll run an ad. Yeah, we'll run an ad. We'll run an ad. Let's run two. Let's run two ads. Right? We'll take a second and we'll look at this. Right? This is what makes me ultimately not care about missing out on AMD yesterday, right? 8%, $1,000 yesterday on AMD shares. That's great, right? That's great. And this is what I recommend. I recommend this. If you don't have a long-term portfolio, I would recommend building one, right? Because it's going to create foam. It's going to eliminate FOMO in a lot of cases. If AMD is going straight up, if Nvidia is going straight up, and I'm not part of it with options contracts, I know that I have, right, 80 shares of AMD in this portfolio that is just going straight up, right? I know that I have I'm still taking advantage of this move with shares, right? And that, I think, is a great way to trick yourself, trick your mind, eliminate some FOMO, right? That's what I would say. So overall now, AMD up 146% on those shares, 309% on Nvidia. Jesus. Wow. So, yeah, that's what I would recommend, right? Grab some shares, right? Grab some shares. Don't sell them, and just let them ride. Let them ride, and it'll eliminate some FOMO. I think that's very key. So, today on AMD, what levels are we watching? We're watching levels from the previous all-time highs, guys, right here. This level right here, that's 156.72. The next level above is, I think, around this 160, 180. So I'm thinking this right here, 156.72, and then these highs right here, 160, 180, right? It's all from the previous highs. And look at what AMD is holding right now. You see this 156.72 level that's holding? See that 156.72? Right? What level is that? Why is that on my charts? 156.72. Look at this. 156.72. Right? This previous high, 156.72. That is perfectly holding this morning. So, what am I looking for in AMD? This, right? I'm looking for a long here on a pullback, right? If you get under that, you're moving lower. But I want to see us hold that 156.70 area, 156, all right? Square, yeah, sure, let's go to Square. I'm holding Square right now. There you go. Up 65% this morning on some Square puts. This was straight from the Discord, so congratulations to you guys that took this. Square, January 16th, 66 put around 11:30 yesterday, and took some profits off yesterday in the close, holding 5 into tomorrow. You can't see that. All right. And this was just, it's beauty. It's a beauty. Square's awesome. And so today, right? Today, Square is perfectly rejecting 66, 66, 66, right? Look how perfect that is. So previous lows into rejections all day yesterday. That's the most telling thing that you could possibly see. That is a perfect rejection of previous lows, right here. Previous lows, all day rejections. That is a break and retest rejection, right? Perfect. 66 rejections. Gap down today on Square. Beautiful for the swing trade. Next level to watch on Square. I'm going to go to the 4 hour. I think next level to watch on Square, right, is 63. That's probably where Square moves to today. 63. Next is 60. 63 and 60. But big picture here, I'm going to stay on this Square short, guys, right? I'm going to stay on it. And I'm going to take a loss at some point, right? I don't give a shit. I don't care. I will take a loss on Square at some point. But I will not shy away from this opportunity that is staring me right in the face, right? I will not shy away from Square popping into 81 previously and selling off and it doing pretty much the exact same thing and selling off, right? I will continue to look for shorts on Square until likely, I'd say around this 55 level, right? I will continue to look for this downside grind, right? Probably until this 55 level. And there will be a day where Square goes against me. There will be a day that I lose some of my profits, and that's okay, right? That's okay. I'm fine with that. But as long as Square continues to show me what it is right now, continuing to make lower highs, lower lows, right, I'm going to continue to look for the short entries, right, on the way lower. So that's that. Microsoft, I think a good one to watch today. Here's why. Because Microsoft has pulled back to a retest level. And if the market is strong today, which right now it doesn't look too strong, but if it is, and you do get some upside on tech, I would be watching these previous highs at this 388, right? This 388 could be an area to watch, right? Previous highs, previous lows, right? Yesterday, where did we hold? At the previous Friday highs and at the Thursday highs, right? So if you pull back to 388 today, PIF, did they? All right, I'll take a look. If Microsoft pulls back to 388 today, potential watch there. If Microsoft breaks below 388, right, then it's moving down. So I think all eyes on this 388 today on Microsoft. Very key level, 388. Meta, another one that I'm looking for a pullback long potential. Here's the hourly chart on Meta. Now, let me share with you something that I think is very interesting here. Meta is moving very similar to what it did in the past. So the last time Meta broke over a big supply level, it basically, right, let's sort of draw this out. You have a break of supply, continuation, pull back to the 20 SMA, right? Hold of 20 SMA. This is this continuation move, right? Break of the supply. And what are you looking for now, right? This move is the same as this move, right? These are both the same moves, right? This and this are the same two moves. What did it do after finding some supply, right? And pulled back. What did it do after extending over the 20 SMA? It pulled back to the 20. And that is what I believe is happening right now, right? So what I'm looking for is either Meta to pull back to this 360 area for it to basically be the same level as this area. So you can see, look how similar. Break, retest, long, retest, right? Long, right? So I'm looking for Meta to sort of come back towards this 360. And what I'm hoping for is that this 20 SMA is also moving higher at the same time, right? And we get a long, possibly around this 360 area on Meta. Something I'll be watching. We'll see if we get it. If Meta breaks under 360, then it's sort of a little bit concerning. So something to watch there. Tesla's dying. Oh, baby. Oh, ouch, 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 ouch. Yeah, that's a perfect rejection. Wow. That's a perfect rejection. That's nice. Did we break 47.70? Yeah, we're breaking it. Let's see. It could be a nice setup today. We got to see a rejection here, though. All right, we got to see this turn into a rejection. We got to see something like this. We can't just short because it instantly broke. Amazon. Amazon at a pretty crucial level today, actually. I think this has to hold right here. I think you really need to see Amazon try to hold this 150, 150, 151, 150, 150 area, right? I think you really need to see this area hold. This is the previous low here, previous highs here, previous consolidation that caused upside. I think you need to see Amazon hold right here today. If Amazon breaks, let's say that 151 level, right, and starts to reject here, I think it could definitely move lower. So all eyes on 151 on Amazon there. Google looks like just a channel to me between, let's call it 142 and let's call it 146. That's pretty much just a channel right there. Keep an eye on that channel. Netflix is sort of, okay. All right. I'm still interested in this Netflix play, right? Netflix sort of extended itself and got brutally rejected up here again, right? And yesterday was very weak versus the market. Pretty much went down all day. And I think Netflix is, I think it's holding on for dear life over here, right? This uptrend is not strong in my eyes. It's still holding the uptrend, right? This is still holding the uptrend. But I do not think this is very strong, right? This push and this nasty rejection here back into these supply levels is pretty telling in my opinion. But what I want to see is an eventual break of this uptrend, right? This is a previous high, and previous major lows. And you can see right now, it's potentially rejecting right here, right now. And if Netflix gives us this move, man, this is going to be a very aggressive move on Netflix, right? This could be a very aggressive move on Netflix lower. If it breaks this trend and the market starts to give up. This could definitely be an aggressive downside move on Netflix. All right, and I'm very interested here on this trend break. So keeping an eye on it. This is something I'm definitely watching, maybe back towards that 50. Honestly, it could even be back towards this demand down here at 450. All right, I don't see any reason why Netflix, if it breaks this trend, maybe just retest that demand, right, and holds over here. But this is opportunity, right? There's a lot of opportunity here if I'm watching this 487. We'll see. That's definitely on my radar, though. It's sort of on that radar. It's on the UAV. Enemy UAV inbound. That's definitely on my UAV. It keeps beeping in the background. And I'm just monitoring it. I'm waiting for something to really get me interested. Apple, big 180 level today. Big. Right? Very important 180, right? 200 SMA, 180, right? This has to hold on Apple. This, if for the market's sake, this has got to be a double bottom low on Apple. If this is just like we talked about, which we sort of called out pretty nicely, not going to lie, right? If this is just like what we talked about, that bear flag back into these lows, if that's really what this sets up to be, right? This definitely has more downside. If this simply is just a dead cat bounce, bear flag, retest rejection, this has more downside, right? So for the market's sake and for Apple's sake, I think you really need to see it hold 180 here. Like this has to be a strong double bottom that sort of bounces again. Because if Apple starts to break this 180, this could be a little bit dangerous. A little bit dangerous there. So watch that 180. Coin. Yeah, coin. So what did coin do yesterday? Coin held that 130 area, that 126, that 129.50. That's a tough spot to be short. But let's take a quick look at this coin here. Yeah, I think you got to break under 126 before you can really short this. That's what I'm going to say. All right, I think you want to see that 126 break. If that 126 breaks today, then I think you can get aggressive. So I'd want to see this low right here break, that 126. I don't think I'd want to be short into this 126 area. Excuse me. All right, guys, that's all I got. NASDAQ, let's take a quick look at the futures. If you guys could, take a second, press that like button for me. 16.8 CPI lows today, guys. CPI lows, right here. CPI lows. This is the watch. If you break that CPI low, I think downside continuation. ES 47.70. All right, 47.70. Let's see what happens there. My only concern on the ES is some of these previous wicks, right? Like right here, 47.60 could have a little bit of drama, right? But I would just want to see a very clean rejection of 47.70. QQQ 405. Look to see if that rejects. SPY 472. All right, you're sitting at those levels right now. It's going to take your discipline, your intraday management, your ability to read price action to catch trades off those levels, right? So watch them, learn, monitor price action at key levels, see if you can get an idea of what they're doing. All right? If you guys want to buy a shirt, check it out down below. Options Insider merch, unfortunately, has Bula. This is one of one, so I don't think you're getting this one, but there is a TTL shirt, Trust the Levels. If you want to support the stream, that's probably the best way to do it. I'm making no money on these shirts. None, right? It's pretty much exactly at cost. So I'm making maybe a few dollars covering shipping costs, a little bit of dollars for my labor of hand packaging myself. So if you want to support the stream, check out the shirts down below. That's probably the best way to do it. We were able to spread the word, get people on the shirts. Send me a picture. Would love to see them. Tag me on Instagram if you do buy one. Would love to see them. And yeah, so thank you guys again. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.